going to be like, I can't hear me anyway.
But it's a dry heat, they said. Forecast high today, 115, St. George, Utah, USA. Although, if you live where it snows, I promise you'll be crying in 6 months saying, can we please visit you in St. George? And we're going to talk about how critical it is today, Jesse, having all of the elements of the plan that you have to sell your home, all the moving parts, that you have all of the information on the front end. Because if you do, we can prove that A, you'll make more money.
Yep.
And B, you'll have a much better experience. Jeremy Larkin with Jesse Paul.
Good morning, everybody.
You are listening to the St. George Real Estate Morning Drive from Southern Utah. And we're not live on Facebook today. Sorry, guys, if you wanted to see us on Facebook. Too darn bad. But I am going to encourage you to hop on over to youtube.com/Go St. George TV, or just look up the Larkin Group. Look up the Larkin Group. And I'm going to share, guys, I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. How do you like that? We're joining a Zoom meeting. If you want to hop right on over to youtube.com and look up the Larkin Group, or youtube.com/Go St. George TV. And what you'll see here, if you're catching this is, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, you can see every single episode. And here's the fun part. When you go to our channel right now, let me boggle your mind for a minute, okay? I actually can't tell you. I should be able to tell you right now. If we go to our shorts. Jesse, are you wearing shorts? You have shorts on, right?
Yep.
We are sitting at, on our channel, if you're a real estate fan, some people are real estate fans, they want to watch some videos. They want to find out what's going on, right? So I think we're sitting at about 558 videos posted to our YouTube channel in the history of all time. 558 videos,
wow,
over a minute, and 92 shorts, 1 minute or less. Guys, you could watch 92 different videos that are less than 1 minute, right? Should I give them some teasers? Here's some of the titles. An essential job of a real estate agent. How to avoid disappointing real estate agents. The power of home staging. A new episode kicks off with some Taylor Swift. Challenges of adjusting to a new housing market. The PGA Tour boosting luxury home values. The scary reality of Zillow.com. Can you define giving your home away? Navigating the competitive world of real estate. Reverse mortgage loans for seniors. Transforming your listing with powerful staging techniques. On and on and on and on. So, guys, we have about 650 videos currently on this channel. Visit youtube.com/Go St. George.tv or Go St. George TV, or just plug in the Larkin Group. And there you go.
There you go.
Jeremy Larkin here. Jesse, it's so hot.
That it is. I was ready to go back to Brian Head.
Guys, do you guys realize that the Brian Head, the high, basically the hottest it gets at Brian Head Ski Resort, 1 hour, 20 minutes, is 80.
Yeah. It's so
I had a debate with a friend. He said, no, it can get up to 85. I said, actually, no, it can't. It doesn't get up to 85.
It's nice at 80. Very
right.
nice.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it doesn't get up to 85. So it gets up to about 80 max. And I was looking earlier this week at the 10-day forecast. It was 70. Guys, this is in the middle of 114 in St. George. 76, 77, 78, 76, 73, 68 Sunday, 70 Monday, 69 at Brian Head. Get up there, ride your mountain bike, play around, go on a hike. I don't know. Sit on an Adirondack chair on the back porch of a cabin and breathe. But it's not always this hot, is it, Jesse?
Nope.
It's not. It's not.
Here in about 3 months, we will be loving our life.
Yeah, we really will, guys. I had such an interesting conversation. Our show today, by the way, is brought to you by our friends at Gilda Mortgage, Chantry Abbott and his team. Oh, they're so awesome. Chantry and I got involved in it's so cool, in a domino chain of real estate transactions 6 years ago that is coming to a head now. 6 years ago, Chantry purchased a home that I leased. I was in a little transitional period, and we've talked about this a little bit on previous programs, and I think one of the things that people appreciate about our program is we actually talk about reality. I went through a divorce. You know, it's kind of a weird thing when you're
authenticity.
When you're the CEO of the Larkin group, and you grew up in this town, and people have a perception of what you need to be and how you should act.
Mm-hmm.
And we told the story that this sweet little old lady called me, 92 years old. Will you come sell my home? I heard Gary LeVox's endorsement. We've had this endorsement from Gary LeVox with Rascal Flats. And hey, have you been out southern Utah? It's Gary LeVox. I love St. George and Zion National Park. He's definitely been out here. And I went over there, and I didn't sell her home. I bought it. But what happened was I couldn't buy it. And this is why I want to tell this part of the story, Jesse. I couldn't purchase the home because in the complexity of the real estate mortgage world, I was recently divorced, and my ex-wife, my kid's mother, was on title with me, but did not have any income other than alimony child support income. So she couldn't prove income to refinance the Wells Fargo loan into her name. And as part of our arrangement agreement, I wanted those kids to stay in that neighborhood next to the friends and right. And it's been wonderful. So I couldn't purchase home because the dominoes wouldn't line up. So the first of this domino chain is Chantry said, well, I could buy the home. I'm always looking for a rental. I'll be the landlord. You be the tenant. And so he did it. Well, several years later, I turned around and I purchased the home from him. And then I lived there several more years. And then I put a tenant in the home. Then I moved out. And when I moved out, I moved to just up above Diagonal Street, still in downtown St. George, this other home called The Nest. We put a tenant in there for 1 year. And at the end of the year, the tenant wasn't really great on the house. Good people, but kind of hard on things. And I looked at the landscape of my real estate life and my finances and said, if I sold the house, I could realize the gain of all the years. Because any of us who've owned a home at least 3 years have made a lot of money. I could realize the gain. I could pay off that mortgage. I could pay off the home equity line of credit that I used to both down payment my home I moved into, and do some important renovations in the home I moved into. How cool. I took the home that I owned, took equity from it, put that as a down payment on the new old home, 1960, and did renovations, and had a tenant back in the house I lived in paying me profitable rent every month. I could pay off the mortgage. I could pay off the HELOC. I could clear those dominoes, realize the gain, and then turn around and reassess my life. Well, we've been talking on the show the last few weeks about what I did to prepare the home. And I went at great risk to myself and said, I bet this home could sell for probably $450, $460. It's a little tiny home built in 1966. I bet it could sell for $450, $460 as is. I put some money in it. We said, I bet we could get multiple offers, and I bet it could go higher. We listed for $479, and we had 8 offers. Jesse, let me ask you a question. If you want the most money for your client, they're selling a home, do you want them to compete with buyers, or would you rather have multiple buyers compete with themselves?
Multiple buyers compete with yourself, you'll always get more money.
Yeah.
If a buyer's only negotiating against you, they're always negotiating down. If they're negotiating against each other, they're always negotiating up.
Is this phenomenal?
A buyer will always pay more because they are afraid of losing a home than if you ask them to pay that.
Write that down again. If they're negotiating against you, they're negotiating down. If they're negotiating against each other, the home buyers, they're negotiating up. Dude,
and that is
it's one of the best things you've ever said.
It's always true.
Besides every time you've said something kind to me or about me.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course. If it's about you, it's out. Yeah.
That is phenomenal. And what happened is...
And how true is it, though?
It's 100% true. And this is what happened. 8 offers. And these offers went over $30,000 above the asking price. It's not closed yet as the recording of this show, but we can tell you that the offers went over 30 grand above. Now, can you imagine that the wisdom that we try to espouse here from being in the trenches? It works. And I just did it for myself.
And I'm gonna plant my feet in the ground. I am going to guarantee you, if you had priced it where it's going to close, you would have had very few showings and probably maybe one offer. And I don't believe you would have got what you asked.
So what you're saying is I listed for $479.9. Had I said like, oh, I'll just put it on for $500.
I don't think you would have the same result.
Why?
Because then it changes the buyers where they're having to justify the price. If they're having to justify as they walk in the door, it changes their whole emotion.
Everything.
If they walk in as soon as they pull up and they're like, wow, oh, wow. And then they walk in the door, oh my gosh, look at this. They're emotional. If any part of them is having to justify the price, you just lost.
This is Jesse Paul. One call, that's all, Jesse Paul. If they approach the front door, the curb, and in this case, they pull up and there's shade trees and they're almost touching in the middle of the road. If they approach and the first thing they say is, oh, honey, if we don't offer, I'll bet you there's like 5 people looking at this house right now.
Yep.
They are now negotiating which direction? Up. I just hung up the phone before we came to our show today, Jesse, and I mentioned a little bit about this, but I talked to this wonderful woman in town in a subdivision who will go unnamed because we are not in a contractual relationship yet, and I want to protect her anonymity. But she has a home that was built in the late 90s in a really nice subdivision in town. I'm going to give the home a value of around $595,000.
Okay.
Well, when we chatted, she was frustrated because she had it on the market with another agent. And when we got on the phone, she said, I really love my agent. We're going to relist it with her this fall. I said, that is totally cool. By the way, in the interaction we had, I never even mentioned the agent's name. Never came up. I never talked about whether their agent was a good person, whether they're a good parent. It's a non-conversation. It was only around 3 elements. There are 3 elements that cause a home to sell, and they are what, Jesse?
Price, location.
Well, you can't change location.
Oh, price, condition, and
how do we tell the story? We tell the story using marketing, right?
Yeah, who's the buyer and how do we talk to them?
Price, condition, and marketing. Location, we can't change. Economic climate, we can't change.
Yeah.
Political climate, we can't change. So there are only 3 issues. And we got into this conversation with this gal.
Yeah.
I looked at the home. It was a completely vacant home. I said, let me ask you a question. Did you have any conversation around staging your home? Well, we did. And when we went to put it on the market, our agent said we didn't need to. And I said, that's interesting. Because I'm looking at a vacant home. And she said, the home might have been priced a little high, but it's kind of dated. Jesse, if your home is completely stark naked, it's butt naked, as in it's empty of furniture, and it's dated. Jesse, if you show up butt naked with no clothing on, are people going to see all the flaws?
Yep.
They're going to find out really fast what's happening
That's true.
underneath all those beautiful apparel. The house is butt naked, as in it's vacant.
Oh, that's funny.
And I look at this home and it's dated. And what it really needs, guys, is it needs about $30,000 to $40,000, maybe 50. It needs 30 to 40 in finish updates. It needs some new carpet. It needs new countertops. It needs a fresh coat of paint. And I didn't even get into plumbing fixtures. Is there anything, Jesse, that covers a bare naked body better than clothing?
Nope.
Is there anything that covers a bare naked house better than home staging?
No. What a great analogy.
You're welcome.
That was so good.
You're welcome. Thank you for the feedback. And you want to know the fascinating part is I looked at her home. I looked at that thing and she said, we did have to reduce it 3 times. They started it in the mid 600s. And by the time they were done, it was listed for 600 and it was unsold. And 6 months had passed. And you know what the problem is? That didn't have to happen.
Right.
What should they have priced that home at to begin with?
$575.
Correct. And should have staged it? Could it have gone for 6 or higher?
Probably.
Likely.
Probably.
Yeah, likely. So it's interesting. I want to share something on my screen for those who pick up the show on our YouTube channel. Okay. I'm actually looking at the home that was in question. Not that one, but the home that I sold that we had 8 offers on. I want to point some things out, Jesse. I want to point some things out. Look at this home. It's fully staged.
Yep.
Professionally staged. Do you know what staging costs? Costs money.
Yep. A few $1,000s.
You see those two plastic chairs? You see those two Adirondack chairs out there?
Yeah.
I bought 4 of them, 2 in the front yard, 2 in the back. You see the hanging pot above the window?
Mm-hmm.
I did that. You see the pot on the corner?
Yep.
You see the rug on the front porch?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the custom, the mid-century modern, it's kind of like a bread bin mailbox that I found on Amazon? Let's keep going. You see that plant right there? My staging crew did a great job, but there was nothing living in the house. I brought a plant from my living room down. Let's keep going. You see that fireplace?
Mm-hmm.
What do you notice inside that fireplace?
Wood.
I put a pile of logs in a little log cabin fashion. Do you think if a couple of people saw that and were like, man, this is quaint?
Mm-hmm. Should
we keep going? Let's keep going. When you look at the house, you see that fridge?
Yep.
That's an extra fridge for my current residence. I looked at the fridge and the people that are stagers, bless their hearts, have done a great job, set the stage. They're incredible. But set the stage isn't going to bring a whole fridge into your house.
No, that's what not.
I went to Facebook Marketplace for a week and tried to buy a fridge, and every single fridge I tried to buy fell through, and it was going to cost me $500, and they were scratched up. Lou and I, our field operator, moved a fridge to that house. Do you think it looks better with a fridge?
It does.
You see that Solitube right up there?
Mm-hmm.
That Solitube had bugs in it. I don't know how the crap they got in there.
Okay.
I pulled the lens down and I cleaned it. Let's keep going. You see this bathroom right here?
Mm-hmm.
I lived in the home for 5 years. It didn't have that countertop. It had a crappy countertop, and it didn't have that nice black hardware, and it had a crappy sink underneath it, and it had a crappy mirror. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think my boys that lived with me there cared that it had a crappy countertop?
No.
Do you think it helped that I replaced it to sell it?
Yep.
Correct. It doesn't matter if what's in your house works for you. You have to stop thinking about you. You don't own the home anymore. You're trying to sell the home. Okay? As we cruise through the home, I'm going to leave you with a couple of final little highlights. See those chairs? They didn't need to be there, but they make a big difference.
That table.
Guys, every single thing we did to prepare the home was designed to get the highest price possible. And when you walked into the home, it was 142 degrees outside. And on the front of the fridge was a beautiful, we call the home the nest. Mm-hmm. We gave it a name. We told the story through video. And when you walked in the home, there was a lovely note on the fridge, but with a nest.
Uh-huh.
And in we didn't handwrite it. It said, "Welcome to the nest. Please grab a bottle of water. It's hotter than bleep." And it had like the symbols outside. And inside were 30 or 40 ice cold bottles of water with our logo on them.
Nice.
So, Jesse, can we prepare our homes for sale in a better fashion?
Yes.
What are the couple of reasons you think, and this is not a test, what are a handful of reasons that you believe exist as to why people don't prepare their home and why they don't really get the most money or have the best experience?
Number one is they don't actually believe that it makes a difference.
Okay.
Number two, they don't want to. There's a mindset of, well, I'm going to be selling it. I don't want to be putting more money into it.
Okay. I love this.
Right. There's a fear that they're not going to get it back. And I think that's a real fear, right? I can't do that. I'm not going to get it back. And the last one is they're always in too big of a hurry.
What I love is I literally gave him
so much time.
Guys, there was no coaching. I just asked this question cold. You got every reason. They're in such a hurry to get the home on the market.
It pays dividends to slow down and make sure you get it right versus just throw it on the market.
Let me share something. I got this house completely done. I had it professionally cleaned. Then my painters came back to do some more touch-up. They did like 3 rounds of touch-up. After they did touch-up, they'd sand it. And when they started sanding, what got all over everything? Dust.
Yep.
I call my cleaners back a second time.
Yep.
They clean. They get done. I'm almost ready. And I look at the house is fully staged. Mm-hmm. I've painted the exterior. I've painted multiple rooms. I've replaced countertops. I've lost 2 full months of rent, right? I've lost 2 full months of rent.
Mm-hmm.
And I called the cleaners and I said, come back and clean the grout. I looked at the grout and I was like, I don't want a single person to look at the grout in the tile and go, ooh, that's gross. And then we have a party 4 nights after we put it on the market. We've already got all these offers.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of friends and clients over and I get done. And who did I call back?
Again.
I called the cleaners back again.
Okay, so I want to address something that we actually just talked about this morning. Do we have time?
We have plenty of time.
So, because I forgot to turn my timer on.
We're all great. We're great.
So this morning we were looking at another.
The Blueform Media Studios folks are going to keep us. Blake and Mal, they're going to keep us on point. She'll scream at.
We were looking at a
ears.
completely different house, right? Looking at the comparables, and there was a $45,000 difference between the lowest one and the highest one.
These are 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhomes in downtown St. George. There shouldn't be a $50,000 spread in sales prices.
But the lowest one just threw it on the market. Okay. And before we even looked at those, what did I say? If this guy will actually slow down and spend $15,000, he will make an extra 30, which will net him 15 grand and maybe even 40.
It will go faster. He'll make more money, and buyers will compete amongst themselves.
Right? Will it take time? Yes. Will it cost him money up front? Yes. But he will end up at least $15,000 richer than he would have, and I'm betting probably 20 or 25.
Yeah.
By the time we get done.
Yeah.
Just by paying attention and really taking care of the details on the front end.
You know, this thing about hurrying. I mean, we could have a whole episode. You and I've talked about this. I want everyone out there who's listening today. By the way, St. George Real Estate Morning Drive, Jesse Paul, Jeremy Larkin, the Larkin Group home selling team at Keller Williams Realty. I want you to think about every time you rushed in your life. And I want to define rushing. I don't mean like you were racing to get the last color TV for $299 on Black Friday and you got it.
Right.
That's different, right? That is so quantifiable. Like, no, we knew that it was a good deal because the TV was $600 retail and we got it for half. I'm talking about when you were impulsive. I want you to ask yourself, how many times did that work out for me? Mm-hmm. And as you ask that question, you're probably thinking, gosh, it like just doesn't ever work out. Every single time we're in a hurry, we get out of our zone of genius, is what we call it in business. But every human being can stay in their genius. We get out of genius and we start to make mistakes.
Yeah.
We make mistakes. If you're a seller listening to this show, and especially if you're a seller who's been on the market for a period with an outcome you didn't want, man, I implore you to do one of two things. Either A, call us and say, can we talk? Like, would you guys come over and tell me the absolute truth about what's going to get me the most money? Or go back to your agent, who, by the way, was afraid to tell you the first time that you had spinach in your teeth and that your breath stinks and that you need to put on a shirt that fits you better. By the way, he was talking, or she was talking about the house. Do you get my point? We use metaphors in this show.
Yeah.
They were afraid to tell you that your house didn't look great. They were afraid to tell you that they thought that all the figurine collection that you had wasn't going to work out. They're afraid to tell you that as much as you loved the maroon accent wall that you painted in the dining room, that it was a terrible idea.
Right.
They were afraid to tell you that the house, you were like, hey, we just got done cleaning it. And they walked in and they were like, this is clean.
Yeah.
They're afraid to tell you that they should call our friends at Royalty Cleaning, Shara and her team. They clean my home and they clean our office. And they clean a vacation rental. They're afraid to tell you that. Why were they afraid, Jesse?
Because a lot of times a seller will think they're being negative. Mm-hmm. And then they'll go hire the guy that's telling them all the great stuff about their house and the highest price.
Let's
the one that's not telling them anything.
Let me play the role of that second agent. So
about a minute.
Perfect. This sounds like this. Hey, Jeremy, do we need to stage it or clean it up? No, it's fine.
I can sell that.
Jesse, where can someone find us if they want to engage in a really serious, like an awesome, thorough conversation about selling their home?
You can Google the Larkin Group and just give us a call. Or you can go to gostgeorge.com. That's GOSTGeorge.com.
GOSTGeorge.com or Google the Larkin Group. And I want to leave you with the famous words. I'm going to let Jesse have the last comment. Jesse, repeat for our listeners as we break. Tell us again if the buyers are negotiating with the seller.
If buyers are negotiating against you as the seller, they're always negotiating down. If buyers are negotiating against each other, they're always negotiating up.
I know which one I want, guys. So Jesse, we're talking about slowing the freak down.
Yep.
When people are trying to sell their house. We're talking about, this is so funny.
Here's what's interesting, though. I'm gonna say something that is so counterintuitive.
Okay.
Yes, slow down on the front end.
Yeah.
But once you hit the market, the faster you find the right price, the more money you're going to make.
Okay. Say that again.
The faster you find the right price where you're actually getting showings and offers, the more money you're going to make.
Can I share? Go ahead.
Because, you've been talking to a few people that have had their home on the market. The biggest complaint is not only no communication or no feedback. All they wanted to do is reduce the price. Right?
100%.
Oh, that's the only answer.
Yeah, bingo.
That's because if you're on the market, and I'm going to dare say in any price range in St. George, in Greater St. George, Hurricane, Washington County, and you're over 30 days on the market, buyers are walking in going, what's wrong with this house? Never fails. Never fails. Hey, how long has this been on the market? Oh, about 32 days. What's wrong with it?
Let's talk about this. I want to talk about 3 case studies.
Okay.
About what you're talking about today. I was on the phone with a buyer today. I'm in making some phone calls. I get on the phone with a buyer that at some point was in our system and working with another agent, and who knows what he's doing now. And I said, what are you looking for? And this was what we call the old lead pond. That was what I was calling through today.
Yeah.
She said, I really like investment properties. And Jeremy, just so you know, the uglier and the older and the more beat up, the better. And she said, I like the homes that have been on the market for a really long time. Why would an investor say to me, I like the homes that have been on the market for a long time? Why would they say that?
Because they know that is the best deal that they're going to get. There's potentially a lot of negotiation room because the seller's frustrated. And when we are frustrated, we do not make good decisions.
And when we're tired?
It's as bad as making decisions when you're in fear or when you're angry or when you're tired or when you're hungry.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know about you, but when I'm hungry, I am stupid. I cannot make good decisions.
When he's hungry, or if he has the slightest sniffle or the most mild headache, almost like a negligible headache.
Yeah,
you're not even sure if he has a headache.
I'm done. Yep.
Yeah. The kind of headache you'd take a baby aspirin for, and Jesse's like, I have to go to sleep.
I gotta go to bed.
No, it's funny.
That's so true.
The funniest thing about Jesse is I've never met a tougher guy who was more of a pansy about getting sick. But I mean, because you're a guy that's tough.
That's funny.
But look, it is funny. And thanks for, one of the things that's so fun about you is you like to laugh about yourself. Okay, let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about 3 case studies.
Okay.
So it's kind of interesting. All right. The quicker you sell your home, the more or the less money you'll get, Jesse.
The more.
Statistically proven.
The more.
Okay, more money. I want to talk about 3 situations. Okay. Sun River just sold a home for a beautiful lady named Diane. You met Diane.
Yep, Diane.
Put her home on the market. Very dated home. Guys, pink walls. Pink walls, brass fixtures. It was ready for a $50K reno.
Classic.
She really listened to our guidance about at least setting the home up physically.
Yeah.
Right. She was in there moving to an assisted care facility. There was no way that we were going to ask her to paint her house now.
Yeah, that wasn't happening.
Okay.
There are circumstances where that just is not possible.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about this for a minute. When we sold her home, it's kind of fascinating. This home was on Sunstar. If you're a Sun River seller, on Sunstar, all right? And the reason I'm telling this story, so we had it on the market for 8 days, and we went under contract. She got, well, Jesse, you always want to leave some negotiating room, right?
Okay.
Guess how much of her price we got for her? 100%. We got her 100%. Well, guess why? Two buyers competed with each other.
Mm-hmm.
2 buyers competed with each other. Okay. That's okay. The reason I tell that story is I met with a Sun River seller yesterday. They're looking at moving out of state. We sat down. He said, Jeremy, what do you predict? What should we plan for time on market? Now, this is interesting, Jesse. What should we plan for time on market? All right. Well, the average days on market, the average cumulative days on market in 2023 was 87. Okay. The average cumulative days on market, that means cumulative means like if the home was listed multiple times, was 122.
This year?
Yeah, it went up by 30%. Now, and there's a point here. Okay, the median days on market in March of 2023 was 37 days. That's on market means to get what? Days on market is not to close, it's to...
It's while you're live, while you're still active.
It's to go to contract.
Yeah.
Okay. This year it was 47 days. This year it was 47 days on market. Okay. I think it's kind of interesting. I said to this guy, well, you should plan to be out the door, gone, and moved in 60 days. And he said, really?
Mm-hmm.
Here's why. In his mind, when we talked, I said, well, what, is that surprising to you? He said, yeah. I said, how come? He said, well, it just seems like it would take a while to find the right buyer. I said, actually, au contraire. The longer it takes to find a buyer, the less money you're going to get. Jesse, how long should it take if a seller has prepared and priced their home correctly? How long should it really take for them to find a buyer?
2 to 3 weeks.
Period.
Yeah. When I start, and this is my realm, I dig into the history of listings. The majority of that 65 days, or however long it is the sellers trying to find the right price. It's because they started too high. Mm-hmm. Because when I start digging in, I see 80 to 85 to 90% of them go under contract within 2 weeks of hitting a certain price.
It's called the sweet spot.
Right? That's what I call the sweet spot. So that tells me that the actual days on market should be 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If I found the right price. So my job as a seller and a listing agent is to find that right price as quickly as possible so that I don't have buyers walking in this house going, I wonder what's wrong with this house.
I wonder, hey, listen, the second they uttered the following words, you're dead. I wonder what they would take.
Right, or that. I wonder what we could get them for. So
oh gosh.
Would you think
You're
that changes the way they look at a house when they're walking through it?
What I think I would know.
Right.
I would know it.
Versus, wow, this has only been on the market 3 weeks. Oh, we better jump on this. Or 2 weeks. Oh, wow.
By the way, guys, I think this is kind of fascinating, Jesse. Year to date. And those, by the way, that was March. So year to date, actually, I should say this. This is fun. I'm going to go back. I had the numbers wrong.
I was going to ask you about that.
Year to date, 95 days on market is the average days on market, and 50 days is the median days on market. Fun part is we've always beat that at the Larkin Group. We've always helped our sellers sell their homes faster. Median sales price right now, year to date in Washington County, interestingly, is $499,000. I haven't seen it under $500,000 in a while, Jesse.
Right.
It's down 4% from last year. That is fascinating to me, that the median sales price is down 4%.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at the market summary for Washington County.
I don't think so, because mine says it's up.
Yeah, March 2024.
Oh, I'm looking at June.
Sorry. I'm running March. I'll run June.
So June average.
Let me run that. Let me run June.
Cumulative days on market.
Sorry, I just had it in March. So June, let's fix this. I think this is really great.
In Washington County.
Yeah, Washington County median sales price $499. Jesse. June 2024 median sales price year to date $499. Yeah.
Hold on.
So isn't this interesting? And I'm going to tell you why this is
right.
Well, all I know is a residential market summary for. I think we should have a debate. I think we should have a fisticuffs over this.
Hold on.
I'm just running Washington County, man.
June 24 residential.
Yeah, I got a median home price this year of $499,575.
Are you in Iron County?
No.
Because the actual median sales price is $522,700.
Weird. Yeah.
Did you log into Iron County on that?
No, I'm not in Iron County.
On that, but if you logged in on that browser and you didn't clear your cookies,
well, I'm looking at average sales prices of $625. You think it's $625 in Iron County? So we're having a debate. We're having a debate that
I have completely different numbers.
the median sales prices be somewhere between $499 and $520.
Wow.
You know, here's what's fun about this, as we have a little
We don't ever
argument about, because we're pulling from the same report. I think what's actually fascinating about this is that all of the entities that study and predict home prices are predicting a 5% increase in home values in 2024. Yesterday, I was on the phone with a buyer, young kid, and I got him on the phone and he said, hey, he's like, well, we were thinking about buying a house, but we changed our mind. I think we're just going to give it up. We're just going to, I don't know what we're going to do. I said, totally cool, man. What really got in the way for you? Was it timing or pricing or interest rates? He's like, just pricing, interest rates. It's just too high. Mm-hmm. I said, totally got it. Are you anticipating maybe you'd wait until prices drop? He said, yeah, I hope so. Well, what we got into is I actually suggested to him that he consider Cedar City. And he said, yeah, I could look at Cedar City because prices are about $100K lower up there. And he said we could actually move to Provo, Orem as well. And I was like, well, Provo, Orem ain't going to be cheaper.
Yeah, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah, I was like, that's not going to be helpful. But Cedar City would be helpful, right? And I said, do you know what they're predicting for home prices this year? No. Well, all I can tell you is that nationwide, what they I love to talk about they is my favorite person. They tell us that the median home price or average sales price in the United States is going to go up by 5%.
Well, and so far this year, we're actually up almost 3.5.
Yeah. We were down last year about 6% from the peak. We were down 6% from the peak. Let me ask you this. Let's talk about a home that has some extraordinary challenges. You were visiting with a seller who has a blue clay issue.
Yeah, they've got some serious foundation issues.
How does that manifest itself? What does it look like on the outside?
You can't really hardly tell. I mean, if you look really close, you see the one side of the house is lower, but the naked eye, you wouldn't really know. But as you walk in and you start to see, there's a crack in the tile clear all the way through the kitchen and the dining room.
It's architectural. Keep going.
And then you start to see that the whole left side of the house, if you're facing it, has dropped.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is fun because we've been talking about home staging and such.
Yeah. From the outside, you would almost never know it.
So for this guy, all right. So for this guy, thought I had my charger. Oh, here it is. So he has some options. He wants to sell, right?
Yep.
Is blue clay a thing around parts of St. George?
It is.
Yeah,
definitely a thing.
We see it. And guys, what we want you to know what blue clay is, it's kind of, if you see it, like the veins of it out in the desert, it's kind of purple. Mm-hmm. And blue clay is what we call expansive.
Yeah, it's an expansive soil.
So when it gets wet, it expands. And we have something else here called yellow clay. And some of these soils they don't expand, they actually shrink, right? But blue clay, I mean, it can be a massive problem. Yeah. And so this guy's getting ready to sell. He's got a couple of options. Mm-hmm. One is he could just go to the market, right?
Yep. We could go to the market, which we may do just to check it out.
And I want to set this up and then let's talk about it.
Okay.
So one option is he could say, I don't have the wherewithal financially, emotionally, in any other way to deal with this clay. Mm-hmm. Okay. The other option, which is the second option, would be what?
To fix it up.
Okay.
To repair the foundation first and then repair everything in the house that was affected.
Okay. I love this. He's going perfect speed because I want to set this up perfectly. You got the news that it was going to be about what to do this whole job?
I'm guessing $100,000. I'm not all the way in yet, so I'm padding it a lot. So it may end up less, but I don't know. We're guessing $100,000.
Okay,
and that's leaving room for anything that's surprising that comes up later.
Yeah, because they're going to come in. They're going to jack up the foundation.
Yep, they'll jack up the foundation.
Then they will inject concrete, basically.
Yep.
Underneath to support it. Right, that's how they jack the foundation up. Will they put piers down?
Yes.
Helical piles is what they call them, piers down.
Yep.
Well, here's the situation. I was thinking of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. My parents went away on a week's vacation. Okay, here's the challenge that exists here. First of all, most people aren't going to have the $100K to fix their house if they got foundation problems.
No, yeah, right.
The challenge is if you're a buyer and you show up to a home, and this is the disclaimer, which has to be very transparent.
Oh, yeah.
Blue clay issues. We have a bid on file if you'd like to look at it. There are blue clay, there are foundation issues. It's going to need to have helical piles from a professional foundation company. And then once you fix the foundation, then you also have to fix what?
The inside.
Because once you jack it up,
stuff that
the tile's going to break.
Yeah.
You're going to repaint fix door frames. If you're a buyer, are you negotiating up or down in your mind already?
Oh, down.
Because you're looking at it this way. You're like, well, the price is X plus the hassle factor. I'm going to give it a dollar value also.
Okay. So we've talked about this before. And let's just use something as simple as carpet. Because carpet and paint are two things that actually can give you almost double what you spent.
Yeah, it's like the only thing. Like it's so cosmetic.
Right. But if you don't do it, it's also going to cost you double because you didn't do it. Because the buyer, just because of the inconvenience of having to do it, even if it's $10,000, they're taking off $20,000.
Can I share a perfect example to give someone some context? When I used to sell foreclosures for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, these big government entities, hundreds of them we sold. Fannie Mae had a policy we've talked about on the show in the past. Fannie Mae had a policy. In every house, they'd send us out. We'd find the house. It was like maybe someone was in it, and we'd help them get out because they've been foreclosed on. Sometimes it was a tenant, and we'd be like, "Sorry, you have to move."
Yeah.
We'd give them some money from the bank, and then they would do three things. In every single case, they'd replace carpet, paint, appliances. They actually had an account with Whirlpool. Fannie Mae had a national account with Whirlpool appliances. Carpet, paint, appliances. And Jesse, they asked us to suggest each time whether we should do it. Unless the house was in, because by the way, not every house needed carpet and paint and appliances.
Right.
If it was even questionable, I said yes.
Yep.
Because they knew that when they put a foreclosure, aren't foreclosures supposed to be beat up with like dead animals in them? Yeah. They knew that if they put new carpet, paint, and appliances in, it was going to do what? Help or hurt?
There's going to get more money. A lot more than they were going to get.
And Fannie Mae actually had an interesting policy. They liked leaving the neighborhood a little bit better than they found it, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is cool.
You know, like the last thing they need to do is go, well, somebody stole all the copper wire and the AC units and ransacked the house for anything valuable, but it's back on the market for $30K.
Right.
So isn't that fun? It's just so funny to me that those people, those banks would spend money to fix the homes.
That's because of the return that it has. Those things are really the only ones that can double your money.
Yeah.
Anything else, probably not.
You know, I want to wrap up with this today, Jesse, in interest to our time. Where can people find us online, by the way, if they want to have a conversation about selling or buying?
So they can either go to GoSaintsGeorge.com, that's GOST George.com, or they can Google the Larkin Group.
Yeah. You should and can do all of those things. Let me leave you with this, okay? We got this home price forecast scenario this year, 3%. I said 5%. As of the 3rd of June 2024, it was Fannie Mae was saying up to 5%. The average of all of the think tanks is that home values would go up 3% in 2024. That's not a lot. You know, but Jesse, we have an election year upon us. We have been able to ascertain that in 7 of the last election cycles, the number of home sales went up or down after the election. 7 of the last 8 election cycles.
Up.
Yep. And in 6 of the last 8 election cycles, what have home prices done? Gone up or down?
Up.
Yeah. So is that a guarantee that sales volume will go up and prices will go up?
No.
And we have affordability problems everywhere in the land. And guys, we understand that. We live here, you know. We have adult children and young adult children. I have 2 kids that are under the age of 20. I'm like, what are these guys going to live in? one of those little plastic Hasbro toy houses that your 3-year-old plays. We've seen like memes on Instagram, right? Like no bed, no bath, $250K for one of those things. So my biggest takeaway today, Jesse, in our programming is if you will slow down when you get ready to sell your home and say, tell me exactly what I got to do, like hire a professional and say, just tell me exactly what I got to do. As a matter of fact, give me a good, better, best. I love good, better, best. Give me a good scenario, a good, better, best in terms of what I should do to prepare the home. If you will do that, you will have such a different and much more profitable experience. I just can't express it enough.
It's true. Very true.
Just slow down, man. Slow down. And look, it might cost you some money. And if you don't have the money, then we have to price accordingly.
Yeah. Or brainstorm. Is there ways to figure it out? Is there a way to find the money to do that?
But guys, we are speaking as a real estate organization, the Larkin Group, KW Realty. We're speaking as people that for 20 years, 2 straight decades, we have consistently beat the market in time on market and prices that we're getting for our clients.
That's true.
Consistently beat the market. If we hadn't done that, then I would be like, listen to another real estate radio program. I don't know if there exists one. Guys, check us out on YouTube, all the platforms, the Larkin Group. We are so grateful that you follow us, and we're happy to jam out with you and talk about your situation by phone, Zoom, or right in our beautiful office right on Tabernacle. Over now.
Good. Thanks, guys.